Hello, beauty. Today we're exploring the repatterning phase of Embodied Spring, where we'll discover how to create nervous system safety that allows you to receive what you truly want. And in this video, I'll be sharing 3 pathways to repattern safety, as well as 5 safety practices that you can weave into your daily life. And if you're like me and the hundreds of women that I've worked with, then you also long for more. And did you know that longing and desire are naturally inherent to the feminine? Here's the thing though, we will only receive what feels safe to us. Let me say that again. We will only receive what feels safe to us. And as my teacher Layla Martin says, we can have anything we want as long as we feel safe enough to have it. So what if instead of looking at your desires as greedy or too much, you saw them as divine? What if your longings are actually guidance systems pointing you towards the life you're meant to live? Let's begin by understanding why safety is so fundamental to our ability to receive as women. So all of us have different relationships when it comes to receiving, whether it's receiving love, abundance, pleasure, or support. We might say we want these things, but then find ourselves blocking them when they finally appear. Or we might receive partially, but never fully let ourselves have the fullness of what we desire. This isn't because you're broken or there's something wrong with you. It's because at a nervous system level, receiving feels unsafe. Perhaps you learned early that having needs meant or made you vulnerable to disappointment, or maybe being seen in your fullness invited criticism, or depending on others would lead to abandonment. You see, these experiences created protective patterns in your nervous system, patterns that were once necessary for survival, but now limit your capacity to receive the very things you long for. The good news is that your nervous system safety is an inside job. And what that means is it can be built from the inside out. You can make your way to feeling safe, even on a planet that isn't 100% safe. And I've discovered that there are 3 essential foundations of safety that transform our capacity to receive. Each of them is going to offer a different way to create internal security that allows abundance to flow in your life in all forms. The first foundation, present moment safety. Most of our feelings of danger or unsafety are actually projections from the past or worries about the future. When we drop into the present moment and ask a simple question, in this moment, am I safe? We often discover that yes, right now we are safe. And we can get stuck thinking about the past or the future and then feel unsafe. But in this moment, your nervous system can feel safe right now. Let your nervous system sit in the truth of that for a moment, rather than maybe a mind story from the past or your fears about the future. Try this simple practice for present moment safety. Place both feet on the floor and feel the support beneath you. Take a deep breath and look around the room that you're in. You start by naming 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. This simple practice is going to bring you back to your senses and the present moment, where safety can be directly experienced rather than conceptualized. So try bringing this quality of present moment awareness to one area where you struggle to receive. For instance, if you're somebody, when somebody offers you a compliment that it's challenging, feel your feet on the ground and receive it in the present moment. Or when abundance starts to appear in your life, check in with your current safety rather than projecting past scarcity. And then when pleasure arises, notice if you're fully in the now or if you're projecting future loss. This practice isn't to override genuine warning signs, okay? But to help you distinguish between actual danger and conditioned fear responses that no longer serve you. Now for the second foundation, inner world safety. So creating an inner world of safety happens through how we speak to ourselves and hold ourselves when things get challenging. Many of us have fears about the future, and many of the fears about the future, besides dying, are actually that we'll abandon ourselves or reject ourselves when things get hard. True safety comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you've got you. Choosing to love yourself no matter what creates an inner nervous system safety. Try this practice to build inner world safety. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Imagine yourself facing a situation where maybe you don't typically feel safe receiving. Maybe accepting help, being seen in your power, or allowing pleasure. And then say to yourself, even if this feels uncomfortable, I will not abandon myself. Even if others don't understand, I will love and accept myself completely. Even if I make mistakes, I will speak to myself with kindness. This practice builds a strong foundation of self-trust that makes receiving more possible. When you know that you'll be there for yourself no matter what, the risk of receiving from life and others becomes much less threatening because you know that you will always have you. All right. Now, the third foundation is spiritual safety. There's a deeper level of safety available that can go beyond your relationship with yourself. And I call this spiritual safety. And this is the recognition that you are held by something much bigger than you. Try this practice to access spiritual safety. Sit or lie down and imagine your body being held by something larger than yourself. This could be the earth, the cosmos, the divine feminine, or whatever resonates for you. Feel yourself being completely supported with nothing you need to do or prove. Breathe into the recognition that you are not separate from this larger consciousness. You are the beloved expression of it, and it is always with you. This spiritual safety becomes your deepest resource, especially in times when life outside of you, or even the relationship with yourself, feels a little shaky. And as embodied feminine beings, you're choosing safety because the health of your nervous system and your inner world depends on and thrives on a sense of safety that you create through these three foundations: that present moment safety, that inner world safety, and that spiritual safety. And you can create an inner experience of safety for yourself in any moment. Any moment you can create this for yourself by moving out of your mind and into your heart, right? When we feel unsafe to receive, it's usually comes from early childhood, before we could even speak. Our little bodies recorded experiences where we didn't feel safe, cared for, or sometimes fully accepted. These moments created protective patterns. And this is our system's way of making sure we never have to feel the same type of pain again. So we create beliefs that relationship or intimacy or abundance isn't safe. And usually we create a story that isn't true to prevent us from ever getting too close or having too much, so that we never have to experience that level of pain or loss again. Take that in. So the highest level of transformation work that you will ever do, in my opinion, will come through your ability to feel safe. So here are 5 safety practices you can weave into your daily life now. Number 1, the safety check-in. When you notice resistance to receiving something, ask yourself, do I feel comfortable to have this? If the answer is no, bring compassion to the part of yourself rather than forcing yourself to receive. The next one is the inner anchor. Before entering situations where you'll maybe be having a challenging experience, take a moment to connect to your inner safety by placing a hand on your heart and remembering that no matter what, I've got me. And then there's a safety mantra that you can work with. So when you're feeling unsafe, rather than trying to change the experience, try this mantra of, I am my own sanctuary. I create safety from the inside out. I am my own sanctuary, and I create safety from the inside out. And then there's also the safety boundary. When you notice yourself feeling unsafe, check in if you simply need a boundary. Remember that true safety sometimes means saying no to what doesn't feel aligned, so that you can fully say yes to what does. Now, as we complete this transmission on repatterning your relationship with receiving, I want you to recognize that your desires and your longings are not too much. They are divine guidance showing you what your soul is here to experience. And you deserve to receive abundantly in all areas of your life. In fact, I believe that that's actually your birthright. And when you create internal safety, you align yourself with this natural abundance. You become like a clear channel through which life force can flow through, rather than a constricted vessel where only small amounts of goodness can enter. So begin with just one practice that called to you today. Notice what shifts when you prioritize feeling safe in your life. Your feminine body has been waiting for this permission to receive in bigger ways. So until next time, may you receive.